What's up, beautiful people? I hope y'all are doing fan-damn-tastic out there. Hey, what's going on? We are in here in quarantine, baby. I am. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. We are here to talk about the weekly energy report. I am your host, spiritual bodybuilder, and we're going to get deep down. What's up, Julie? We're going to get into the energies of this week, which are absolutely intense. And, you know, who wants to hear about more intensity, right? But the fact of the matter is that we are coming into a whole new level, a whole new layer of our consciousness and growing to this new point in our lives. And the way that we respond, holla back, yo. The way that we respond to these energies is going to determine or dictate really the next, 30 years of our lives. This week in particular, so for the last month and a half or so, we've come into this crazy world situation, right? Things feel like they're falling to shit. Thank you, Eileen. I appreciate you. By the way, I'm streaming here on Instagram and on YouTube. Real quick, before I get into the energy report, I'd like to put out a few things. First, if you haven't done so, please go to my IG and click on the link in the bio, download my free ebook, and get put on my mailing list for my opportunity community that is being launched very soon. It hasn't. I'm still working out some kinks and some details with the website, so I appreciate all you guys' patience. But we will be going live tomorrow at 2 p.m. on Zoom for Uforia, and Friday at 1 p.m. for the opportunity community. So feel free to plug in. First 100 people. It's a free 4-week coaching course that I'm doing for all my beautiful people out there. So jump on that. And if you are part of the opportunity community, I will be sending out emails continuously, keeping you guys updated every step of the way. So now that is set, and if you'd like a reading from me, DM me on my Instagram or message me on YouTube, and I'll get back to you. We'll make it happen. Okay. So today is a full moon at 18 degrees of Libra. Now, what's really big that's going on right now is, of course, the full moon is going to be intense. This is supposedly the brightest full moon that's going on, and coming right after the 444 portal, and with Pluto and Jupiter still conjunct, this energy is just going to keep kicking up notches. Keep kicking it up, right? So I want to go into the feeling of this energy that we're entering into, because we're sort of going another layer deeper, and this layer deeper is going to really test our authenticity, test our willpower, and test our drive to really go after what we want to create in our lives. And we have to be really honest with ourselves and identify what part of us wants to stay safe and what part of us wants to grow. And that's really going to be the energy of 2021. Right? Let's go deep. The energy of 2021 is going to be that of the Saturn and Uranus square. And the last time that happened was June in 2018. Okay, so I want you guys to think back. What were you going through in June of 2018? Usually there's some kind of shenanigans going on, but we must resist the vaccine and the mark of the beast. Fucking men. I agree 100%. So we have this Uranus energy that is becoming, is sort of emerging out of the darkness, right? We've been under the influence of this Capricorn energy for so long, which all supports Saturn, right? Hey, Amanda, thanks for tuning in. We've been under the influence of this Saturnian energy primarily, right? And the Saturnian energy is the corporations. It's the larger structure of the economy that we have that is clearly falling away. It's falling apart, right? But that Saturnian energy is that feel like I want to stay the same. I want to keep these structures going. It's the people that are making out like a bandit on all these energies that have been around for, hundreds of years. Now, clearly that energy is dissipating. That Uranus energy is coming up and exposing all this energy, along with the Saturn-Pluto conjunction that happened in January. All this stuff that was underneath is being exposed and being called out, right? But there's so everything that's going on in the world, in our outside reality, is a reflection of what's going on within. The Great Awakening has begun. It has started. Okay, now we're just experiencing the very beginning, the tip of the iceberg when it comes to this awakening. Because as you know, if you've gone through a period of awakening yourself, you've had the dark night of the soul. You've had all this like feeling lost, feeling like a loss of identity, or ego death, right? Experiencing these parts of the experience that made you feel broken, made you feel like you weren't good enough, made you feel, vulnerable. And this vulnerability energy is key right now because it's so potent still, and it's going to remain potent. But as we go through this energy and the reality sets in a little bit more, and as the reality sets in, the powers that be are going to try to systematically implement these little pieces, these crumbs, one step at a time. And these crumbs are designed to lock us into this Saturnian energy. We don't want that. We have the 5% of the world right now that is woke, so to speak, okay? That has woken up to the experience of the fifth dimension, Christ consciousness, understanding, leading life from love. Then we have the 1%, which wants to keep everything the same, right? They want to control and rule everybody. Control and rule is Saturnian energy, right? Uranian energy is like, nope, Uranus rules Aquarius. This is the Aquarian age coming up and out. But as it comes up and out, there's this tension. There's this pulling apart of this energy that is going to show, look, the future is unknown. And people fear what they don't understand. People fear the unknown, right? And with that, it's creating this massive awakening, this opening the eyes in humanity, saying, hey, look, things are not what they appear to be. The Saturnian energy is suppressive. It's constrictive. The Uranus energy is expansive. It's explosive. It's that, that unexpected, aha moment or epiphany that comes out of nowhere. So when we have Saturn, we're going to get a taste of this energy. Right now, Saturn is within a 4-degree orb of Uranus, and this energy is going to play, because they're both going to go retrograde, although Saturn is going to go a little farther away. So right now that's still going forward for the next month or so. Wow, why, thank you. Right now, as Saturn is still going forward, it's still going closer, getting a feel of this energy with Uranus, saying, which way do I want to go? And it's going to be very uncomfortable. It's going to be this energy I know that I have to get this done. I know that I have a bigger purpose. I know that I have to step into my power, but how the fuck do I do that? How do I go in this direction? I don't know, because I've never been there before. How do you do it? Through trust and faith. Okay. And Chiron is still square the nodes slightly. So this is still digging into this deep vulnerability, and the moon is going to be opposing Chiron today and tomorrow as well. So with the moon opposing Chiron, this is all about relationships, looking at our relationship with ourselves and everybody else in our reality. Because we know when we take responsibility for our life that we create our own reality. So knowing that we create our own reality, and if we don't have as much money as we want, if we don't have the relationship that we want, if we don't have the career that we want, why don't we have it? And we have to get real vulnerable and real honest with ourselves. Now, there are multiple aspects. The Pluto conjunct Jupiter is highlighting this vulnerability. It's highlighting this stuff that we don't want to look at in our unconscious. Okay. Now the Saturn coming to square with Uranus is giving it another angle of, ooh, I got to grow, but I don't like it. But you know what? I have trust and I have faith that I am moving into my power, and that so it's sort of like we feel like maybe if we take this big risk that we're going to fall off a cliff. But in fact, when we have faith and trust, we know that when we walk off this cliff, we're going to keep walking. But you have to believe, you have to trust, you have to have faith, you have to believe in yourself. Now, for the people that are just experiencing this great awakening right now, that's why we're all feeling this. It doesn't matter how long you've been doing the work. It doesn't matter, how you've been doing this, because so many people are waking up. People are scared because that dark night of the soul, man, that shit's scary. That shit's vulnerable. So the world is in this state of an extreme vulnerability. And that's where we have to bond. Exactly. Discomfort equals growth. I don't think we're going to have our comfort zone for a while. I'm going to be honest with you. Okay. But humanity needs to evolve. And in order to do that, we've had pockets of time in the past where, like, look at the wars, like a period of 10 years, look at the Holocaust, look back to the Civil War, look back to these times where we were in great transition. We are coming in to another state of transition. Now, of course, we all see what's going on. We have like Bill Gates and, these other people that, own the WHO and all these different, 3-letter agencies that are all sort of in it together. Okay. Now, whatever it is that you believe in, okay, I'm not getting into politics, and I'm not going to get into like subjective perspectives about, all this stuff. The fact is that there's a belief system that's going in this direction, saying we all need to be vaccinated, we all need to be, monitored and have a chip in us and make sure that everybody is controlled, right? Then we have the other side of us. That is, you know what? No, I want freedom. No, I deserve abundance. 5G is freaking me out. Well, I hear you. I've been doing a lot of research on the 5G. I've heard of some instances where there's some protective measures being taken. However, I'm not feeling too comfortable in the safety of that yet. I know that there are ways that we can protect ourselves against EMF, but specifically with 5G is so powerful. It's literally, it's so powerful that if they successfully, open up this portal, we're literally going to be living in a huge microwave. And even people that are really healthy are going to struggle with the effects. That's, in fact, what is causing a lot of these issues. In fact, there's a lot of information out there about all this stuff. We have to bond together, and we have to protect ourselves, and we have to connect with the people that we feel like our soul family. Right now, this stress is forcing us out of our comfort zone to connect with the people that we normally wouldn't connect to get into experiences and connect with situations that are going to facilitate our growth. And that's sort of going to happen, regardless to a certain extent, unless you're resisting and fighting the process 100%. So, right now, there's a place where there's a lot of people that are feeling lost. So if you're watching this, okay, you've definitely been doing the work for a while. You need to connect with your friends. Start talking about this energy shit to people that may not know about all this stuff, because you never know who's going through something but is afraid to talk about it. I remember when I first started waking up, I feel fucking crazy trying to talk about energy and shit like that. People are going to think I'm nuts, right? Oh no. I was right every time. And the more that you trust it, and the more you step in your power and talk about it and go into it, the more you realize that, holy shit, a lot of people are experiencing this. You just have to trust your own intuition, trust your heart, trust your gut. Everything is a part of the process, no matter what happens. I 100% agree with you. Okay. I don't give a fucking. Well, I do. And that's why I'm here talking to you guys, but I don't give a fuck about like all the bullshit that they're throwing at me. I'm protecting myself. And that's what we're going to talk here today. We need to stay physically healthy. All right. Balancing our body, using functional medicine and balancing techniques, especially with all the possible ways of us to distract ourselves, are taken away, which is a good thing, right? We just have to be honest with ourselves about what do we really want? Are we going to be lazy and lay around and, or maybe you're going through a lot of personal shit and you have to sleep for a week. That's possible too. And if that is the case, then you have to be kind to yourself and love yourself through the process. And, I've been going through periods of that for many, many years now. So it's our ego's natural tendency to want to fight this, okay? Especially with Chiron and Aries, being in Aries, it's at like the center of our ego. And ego is not good or bad. It's just, this is pointing out and identifying the toxic aspects of the ego, right? Because we have the ego that holds us back, that wants to control, that wants to, if you have control issues, that's where it creates a problem. But when you embrace this vulnerability, this deep vulnerability in our ego, which is for all of us, it's our inner child, right? When we growing up, especially through the times that we grew up at, everybody experiences some level of trauma in some way. That's how we learn. That's how we grow. Unfortunately, that's just how it is. All right. Oh yeah, my pleasure. Comment hot cut off. Oops. That's all good. So we are coming into our superpowers right now, people. You might not be able to sleep every now and then. You might have a hard time connecting with people because you're feeling the energy so strong. It might be hitting you in these ways that it's like, ooh, you're feeling it physically in your body, or all of a sudden you're feeling everybody else's energy around you that you never felt like before. And you have to surrender to it, to let it take its course and let it speak to you. Okay. Now, also we have, Saturn, quincunx the North Node right now. And that's going to be going on again here throughout the week. So Saturn quincunx the North Node is like saying, there's two parts of our consciousness that are pulling in two different directions. The North Node is our destiny, right? This is emotional vulnerability in Cancer. Now we're coming to the very end of this North Node in Cancer. I've been having a lot of hopelessness and suicidal feelings coming up, just being authentic here so I can grow. Hey, I appreciate that very much. And, a lot of people are experiencing that. So, thank you for being vulnerable enough to leave a comment here on this open platform and saying that. I know a lot of people are experiencing that of hopelessness, that feeling that you feel so lost, you don't know where you belong. And you could be 30 or you could be 55. It doesn't matter. Because I remember when I was 30 and I was going through my massive shift when I was in Iraq, and I realized that shit wasn't for me, but I was over there for another year. I had to figure out how to be able to, process this moral and ethical stuff that I wasn't in alignment with. And that once you're morally and ethically not in alignment with what you're doing, it's incredibly difficult to stay in it and you lose yourself, you lose your identity. So, I'm sending you positive energy. 19. Okay. Well, you're starting young, which is, a good thing, but this energy is purging all this energy out. Okay. So especially being 19, you're definitely just, still in puberty, your hormones are probably all over the place. Yeah. So, acceptance of your experience is a big part of it. Connecting to like-minded people, learning how to control your mind, do everything you can. For me, it's weight training, it's lifting weights. I've had a transition back into like my military style training, like just running and push-ups and pull-ups and sit-ups and stuff. But whatever you can do to get into your body, to give your body as much nutrition as you can. In fact, I recommend that you check out my 4-week course. First 100 people, it's free. Okay, just $4.99 a month for the subscription. And that'll help give you some structure and understanding about where you're at and how to get to where you want to go. All right. We're all in this together. Okay. And we got this. We are the light workers. We are the way showers. We are the ones that need to teach the others. Okay. So a lot of us have been where you're at. Okay. So plug in, ask questions, be vulnerable, get out there and try to connect with people that you see that are in these places that are sharing these messages, because this mass awakening is a lot of people are feeling this energy, and the energy is just going to keep kicking up. And the way through it is through surrender and trust and faith. Now, when you feel lost and you're like, oh my goodness, I don't know who I am, I don't know where to turn to, start praying for a mentor, for a guide, for a coach, to receive content that you connect with. And you can go on YouTube and there are tons and tons and tons of videos about this ascension stuff and about different things that you can get into to plug in so that you can understand, because you don't understand what you're feeling. It's so intense. It's so deep. It's so dark. It's only temporary. All right. Remember that. Don't be afraid. Exactly. Don't be afraid to ask questions. Don't be afraid to get out there, and you'll find that when you express your vulnerability like you are now, look, everybody here is reaching out. See, that's what we do. And that's what we need to do more of. We need to be more proactive with that. So I'm really proud of you for actually speaking up here and, take that step, connect with some of these other people, all these people, just beautiful people just wanting to make this world a better place. And we are all standing and stepping into our power through this new energy, this new Aquarian energy. Because of all this stuff that's going on worldwide, we're all getting this deeper sensation of this humanitarian in us all, right? We all want to help each other. We all want to grow. We all want to see each other succeed and live through the heart. But in order to open up that heart, it has to break, right? It has to break open. And when the heart breaks open, it can feel like your heart is breaking. But that is just exposing. It's like if you have candida in your gut, right? When you kill it off, it has a die-off effect, and it sort of toxifies your body temporarily. It makes your joint hurt, it makes you tired, it makes you feel like crap until your body expels it. This is an energetic purge. All right. So good. Thank you guys so much for being so attentive to this, because I think this is a very important role that we're playing. One, and number two, really allowing people to feel vulnerable and speak about this stuff is the single most important thing, I think, for us, because once you feel heard, you open up that throat chakra and you feel safe in this very vulnerable place, then we're able to let it go. And that's the key with what we're doing here. We're letting the shit go. We're letting the past go, but it's letting go through the tension. Okay. Now, with the moon being opposed to the sun in Aries, this is all about our relationships. Most importantly, our relationship with ourselves, but it's also sesquiquadrate over to Venus. Okay. Sesquiquadrate is a past life energy, but it's also another one of tension. Okay. So Venus is almost in shadow as well. So Venus going into shadow in Gemini, this is all about, having a love for knowledge, for communication, all right, for learning, having Gemini is like the two voices in your head that are always speaking to each other. And from May to July, we're going to be experiencing that energy incredibly intensely. And this full moon is giving us a little taste of what we're going into. Okay, this is going to be a big part of us loving ourselves. Okay, we also, because Venus is sextile over here to Chiron, and loosely to Black Moon Lilith as well. Now, Chiron and Black Moon Lilith are sort of piggybacking throughout this next month as well. They are 6 degrees apart, but I still count that as a loose conjunction. Okay, so you'll find that as you start to release and let go and open up that throat chakra and allow that heart to expand, you may cry, you may purge it, you may shake, all right? You might have crazy dreams for a couple nights, but you let it out and then it's gone. And then when it's gone, in retrospect, you get the lesson. All of a sudden you get this epiphany, aha moment. Oh my God, that's what I was holding on to. And sometimes it doesn't come right away. You have to learn to see it and feel it and go after it and pay attention to it and tune into it. And once you learn how to do it with yourself, you can help others figure out how to do it, because fundamentally it's the same. When you start to see patterns in yourself, then you start to see patterns in other people, right? So this is all about self-mastery through self-love. So the other side of the coin to this, so to speak, is that we have to not beat ourselves up if we're not doing the work, so to speak, right? Once you cry it out, the emotions are released and you can see things clear. So very true. Crying, I'll tell you what, I wasn't able to cry until I was in my Saturn return when I was 30. Right? I couldn't do it. And then my life completely crashed and crumbled during my Saturn return, and I literally could not stop crying for months. It was like the ugly snot drooling fucking ugly cry face type too. It was like, and I felt so weak. I felt like such a pussy. But that's actually where my power was. So if your life is breaking down and you're being forced to feel this helpless, hopeless, deep, dark shit, shadow that has not been faced yet, just take it one step at a time, because it's only temporary. You get it out and then it's gone. And then you move on, and then you let go of expectations, and each step of the way you get a little stronger. As weird as it sounds, that is great. Well, thank you. Well, good. Twinkle little bat. Shit, nope. All right, sorry about that, guys. So we've got to let it out. We have to allow ourselves to receive and let go. So Saturn has this like control mechanism, this control dynamic. And from the Pluto-Saturn conjunction, all right, that opened it up to like the core. And now it's like there's deeper parts of this that are just being pulled out of us, almost like a puppet on a string, right? Just coming out. And the more that we tune into ourselves, the better we're going to the better off we're going to be. The more that we tune in to the negative energy and fear and panic and all that shit that's outside of us, the more we're going to be stuck in this fucking control dynamic that is not beneficial to anyone. Now, granted, I get that there's shit going on in the world, okay? But a big part of this process is the psychological. This is psychological, psycho-spiritual warfare, guys. Okay, so yes, there may be some things going on, and yes, maybe you want to try to keep awareness of everything that's going on in case it's going to affect you somehow, but don't get dragged into it. Don't get lost in it. Don't get glued to the TV, okay? It's all propaganda. The only place that we're going to find where we want to go is in here. It's in our heart, all right? Relationships are definitely changing big time, all right? No, we had a story, right? We up until a month ago, January 12th, basically, was the cutoff or the threshold. We were living by a certain narrative. We had a certain story. That story got a fucking sledgehammer thrown in it and cracked open. And now a new story for the future is forming. And now this new story is asking us to let go of the past story and move into what we want. And that comes with the belief in self, the awareness of self, the rising above the hate, the anger, the fear, the dense energy. Okay. Now we don't know how it's going to turn out, but I can tell you one thing: we are going to. Everything is going when you trust the process. The relationships that are not meant for you are going to dissolve away. Accept it, let it go. The relationships that are meant for your highest vibrational good are going to come in. Accept it, let it be what it is. Don't try not to get attached to any outcome right now. Try not to get attached to any idea or way of being. Instead, listen to your heart, right? We have to listen to our heart right now because our heart is the fifth dimension. That is where we need to go. Now, there are a lot of things that are outside of our control. So we cannot focus on the shit that is outside of our control. It's just counterproductive, right? So use this time to focus on what we can control, what we do have control over, and take it one step at a time. The more that we're in the present moment, like right now, I'm sitting here, right? I'm in quarantine, all right? Not around anybody else, but I have food. I'm healthy. I'm passionate. My brain's working. I have all 10 fingers and toes. My life isn't exactly the way I'd like it to be, but you know what? I'm grateful for what I have, and I'm grateful from where I'm at. And right now, there is no drama. There's no bad shit going on. Now, maybe out in the world, maybe there is somewhere, but that's not affecting me. So I'm not going to waste my time mentally getting involved in all this what if and how comes and how do I, because I'm just taking it one day at a time and focusing on what I love to do. And that is how we individually and collectively change the world. Okay? So now we still have Mercury in the last decan of Pisces. So emotionally speaking, there is still a lot of cloudiness, still a lot of confusion that we're going through until Mercury gets into Aries. and then it's going to get real vulnerable, and then it's going to start to really clear out and get a little bit better. Okay. But with, you may be feeling a little bit like, even if you're not feeling lost, you may be feeling a little bit lonely, a little bit disconnected. With the Chiron and Black Moon Lilith energy, I feel that can really bring that feeling out to the surface and make us really just want to compensate a little bit, or make us like, like if you don't have someone and you want someone, then, it can be like, man, I wish I just fucking had someone. But then, then you realize, well, I want someone, but I want it like this. And maybe right now it's not the right time to come in like that, because you have to work on yourself and you have to focus on getting your own chakras aligned, your own energy centered. Because if we're off, we're going to invite off, right? So, okay, so good. All right, so lonely, detached, misunderstood. Look, we're all feeling the misunderstood, detached, lonely feeling to a certain extent right now. You have to sit in it. Being misunderstood is actually going to be the new understood in the future, but it's all unknown. So we're embodying this new vibration, and it is coming to us in pieces. So it's sort of like we have this big ass puzzle, right? We have like the big vision of this puzzle, or and right now we just got a whole bunch, like 1,000-piece puzzles just thrown on the floor, and we're trying to organize them, right? And we get an intuitive hit, like, okay, this piece is going to go here. I don't know what's going to connect to, but every intuitive hit, it's putting a puzzle piece into place, but we still don't know exactly where it goes or how it's going to get to the end result. But we know there's an end result. We have a vision in our mind of where we want to go, but we have to be flexible in our approach. Okay. And it's going to be difficult to tune in because there's powers, there's energies that are pulling us in different directions, but those are testing us to really focus. Like, okay, I see that I'm getting drawn over here. I need to pull myself back over here. I see that I feel lonely when I do this. So when I go for a run or a jog or I meditate or I do something like yoga or something, then like I feel a little bit better. It takes the edge off. So we have to explore these different things, maybe that we never did, or maybe that, we haven't done before, that, we need to play around with to figure it out. That's how we find those little pieces that at first it's just going to feel like we're taking the edge off of that loneliness, of that being misunderstood. But as we trust and as we grow and as we get out of our comfort zone and try, I'm feeling this intuitively. Maybe I'm going to say this to this person, and this person that you're talking to is, seems completely closed off. But you say this to them and they're like, they reacted differently than you thought. Okay, well, maybe this is something. Next time I have an intuitive hit, I'm going to pay more attention to it. All right, literally, this is the work, and this is how we grow. And because the loneliness is a detachment from our heart, because our heart, all of our compensation methods have been blasted right open. We don't have them anymore. This is a part of the waking up. It's like that Russian doll that opens up, and then there's another one in there, it opens up, and another one in there, and opens up. We open up the very last one, and nobody in history, at least not for hundreds of years, has experienced this depth of us. And we're carrying with us ancestral information, wisdom, karma, and we're clearing a shit ton of karma right now. So as this gets, released, it's going to make sense over time. But that's where the trust, we have to feel it when it feels right and trust that feeling. And that is the work to learn how to trust that feeling more and more and more over time, till we get to a point where we just know. We know who we are. We faced our fears. We've dealt with the loneliness. We know what we don't want. So now I'm going to stand in my power and hold the space for what I do want. And ironically, all the stuff that we're talking about is exactly how I set up my coaching course. So it'll in a 4-week period, I've designed something that's worked for me over 22 years to get yourself centered, get yourself out of this funk, discover who you are, discover what it is that you love. Okay. So I think I'm reading my chart right. Hold on. Let's see. Got a couple questions, information here. Almost through my Saturn return Capricorn. All right. Okay, hell yeah. So this full moon, we need to be really just open to receiving and clear and take a look, really honest look at where we're at, who we're living with, who we have in our lives, how they make us feel, and why, because the triggers are the way. If there are people or situations triggering us, right? Why are they triggering us? This is all about switching from victim mentality, which is third dimension, to responsible mentality, taking responsibility for our lives and seeing where we're being a victim or a saboteur or a prostitute or a wounded child. And I have I made videos on all those archetypes. Those are survival archetypes. We're moving from a survival-based emotional system to an abundance-based emotional system. That is the fifth dimension, and that's where we want to go. Now, the world is splitting energetically. And I know you can see it. I know you can feel it, right? We're splitting, and they're going to have the 3D dystopia based in fear and control and power and greed and money. Then we're going to have the 5D utopia, which is based in love and gratitude and actually like serving humanity and being healthy and happy and high vibration. We are going to start to see people with extrasensory perception, psychic abilities, paranormal shit that is going to make people be like, what the fuck is going on, right? But this paranormal shit is going to be the norm, along with all this new technology stuff that we have going on. Now, get to know you before you can know anyone else. Exactly. But, along the way, just remember, whoever you're attracting in your life, we are all electromagnetic beings. So we are attracting a mirror of who we are, whether it's in a friendship or a business or a relationship or whatever, right? So when you create a relationship with someone, if you're having an emotional response to an external stimuli, you need to ask yourself why. And that is how the universe teaches you. That's exactly how it works. Okay? This is all about self-mastery, because we can't bring this lower vibration in our heart up there. We have to let it go. And that will require an immense amount of forgiveness for self, forgiveness for people that have betrayed us. Betrayal is probably the number one most difficult thing that we will ever have to deal with in our life. Most people will experience one massive betrayal in our lives, possibly more than that. We'll have to experience the heartbreak and forgive them for what they did, because they came into our lives to teach us something, right? If you're going through, like if you're losing your business right now, this trying to teach you something. All right, if you're out of work, what can you do to shift your focus on something positive to create the life that you want to create? You have to know what you want first. And that is the first step. Now, when you're discovering this, it may seem like, it's kind of pointless. Like, I don't know what the fuck I want to do. Like, I'm just going to, binge watch Netflix for the next 2 weeks and eat Doritos. Like, that's the wrong answer. Okay? Like, you don't have to be a workaholic like me, but you have to look within and feel it and face it and grow. Like, there's no other option right now. And the energies are just going to keep pushing us from these different directions and making us uncomfortable. Okay? But it's like that discomfort that, like, when the Avengers, right? Endgame. They did whatever it took. They time traveled, for Christ's sake. They all worked together and they believed in an outcome. And they end up beating his ass after they lost. And we've all lost many things. We've all sacrificed so much. Light workers, starseeds, like indigo people. We have all experienced a massive amount of trauma. That's why I think that right now in this experience, it's like the world is experiencing what my life was like for, the last fucking 38 years. So this to me is like, okay, cool. But you have to go through it, and you're not going to be able to figure it out, because when you get to the other side, if you go back in my videos on my YouTube and watch my videos from like 10 years ago when I was bodybuilding, my energy is completely different. I even look like 10 years old than I look right now in some of those, because I was so hard on myself and ego driven and fear based. And I see that, and I know that we've all been there. It's all about the growth process. So stand in your vulnerability, which is your power. It may not feel like power right away, but you will see that it will turn into that. You have to trust. I cannot stress enough. Trust and faith, trust and faith, trust and faith. Yes, the betrayal taught us lessons. Great way to see it, but not easy. It's definitely not easy. This work is not for the faint of heart. Okay, some people will not make it. Many, many people will choose to not look at things like this and will just stay stuck to the fear. And, that's what their soul chose to do in this lifetime. The people that are leaving this earth right now. Their soul chose to go through that experience. Our souls chose to the people that I attract into my field are the ones that are overcoming their family lineage. They're the star seeds. You guys are the light workers, the healers, the bringers of the light. We are the light warriors of the Aquarian age. Okay? If you weren't, you wouldn't be resonating with this message right now. So just the fact you're on here, you're listening to me, you're feeling what I'm saying, we're all in this together, and we all understand what you're going through. Okay? Stand in it, moving through it. I'm fucking proud of you. Hell yeah. All right. See, when the Corona shit came about, got in contact, I knew was prepared from this my entire life, right? Yeah, like I've definitely felt like everything that we're going through right now, I have been preparing for this. I have been doing the deep, deep work for years. And, I didn't really know why. I just knew that I had to go, and I would do anything to get to this place. But it's not, I guess it is kind of, but it was just moving through all my shit. And now being able to do this work, guys, I didn't just like step up and like start doing this 6 months ago. I've been working at this for 10 years. And just 6-7 months ago, I started actually getting people paying attention to it. It wasn't until I got to the point where I was like, you know what? Fuck this. I'm just going to do this shit for me. It was like therapy for me. Just talking about energy, because I figured most people just, whatever. It's just not in it for me. I sort of gave up, but I still, even me, like I confused the giving up with surrendering. And once I stopped giving a fuck, boom, that's when everything just changed, like out of nowhere. And now it's been like, it's been very different. And now that I'm seeing and experiencing the other side of it, which I was at a point where I didn't think it was ever going to happen, I'll be honest. And I know a lot of you guys feel that way, like, fuck, I'm in this. I'm never going to get out of it. I don't know where to go with it. I don't know how to process it. I don't know. We never know when we're in it. All right. So stand in that knowledge. Okay. Take it from me. Take it from the other people that are in this chat. We have all been there, and we're all in this together, and, just stay in the strength of that. So this is going to be a very intense week, because we're starting off with this full moon in Libra. And if you are in a relationship that is not serving you, you are going to know it. This could also bring relationships from the past if the karmic lesson hasn't been fully learned. Anything can happen, but, be open to whatever. Say like an ex contacts you and you get super like, oh shit, like, I don't know if I can see him, I can never forgive them, blah, blah. No, you need to go into that. And not saying you guys are going to get back together, but you need to feel it. You need to face it. You need to learn what the rest of that lesson was, so you can close this chapter out, right? Okay, so freedom is on the other side. That's what I tell myself. It's an onion process. Kind of agree with that, but when you're telling yourself freedom is on the other side of what? That's like dangling the carrot on the stick, right? So if you're dangling a carrot on the stick, it's like you're telling yourself, it's like you're getting ready to get ready. Freedom is within you. It's here now. You just have to decide and believe that. So as you learn to trust and have faith, and you decide that that's how it's going to be, it will become, but you have to let go of how it's going to happen. Okay. What about new relationships? New relationships right now are, there's going to be a lot of new relationships coming in, because at the same time that we're letting go of cycles, we are starting new ones. Okay. And for you, Sonia, I think it's our relationship. No, your relationship is with you. Did you get your reading yet? I emailed it to you a little while ago. What do you mean by talking to our exes again? Okay. So say an ex comes back, right? And it triggers you in a certain way emotionally. Like this happened to me a couple months ago. And an ex that I was, head over heels with for a long time. She was engaged to some other dude, and all of a sudden she comes back. Hey, we broke up, but and I realized that after talking to her, we needed to have this talk. But I realized, wow, we've grown into two very different people, and I have love. Like it, I let go of this pain that I felt in regards to that situation that I felt like I couldn't let go of, but I was able to just release it, just through facing the feeling within and having an honest and open conversation. Okay. So, I mean, if your ex came back, look, the specific circumstances like are going to be different for everyone. What matters is paying attention to what you feel. He came back and then he had to dip out. What did that teach you? Okay. Maybe it taught you that, he's not reliable, that he's not stable, so you have to strengthen your own emotional boundaries and maybe next time not let him do that to you if it hurts you that bad. This is about solidifying emotional boundaries. Okay. That's the Jupiter and Pluto bring up all this unconscious shit that we haven't felt before, and having to solidify it, be like, okay, I know now 100% that this is what I want. This is what I don't want. This is what I'm put up with. Right. So we have to establish this 100% and we have to know 100%. Sometimes it takes that little last fucking kick in the ass to really get the hint. But once it's done, then that feeling leaves and you're not angry. You're not upset. You're just at peace about it. It's over. It's done. There you go. So you already knew the answer. You just had to get that last kick in the ass to tell you for sure. Okay. Like my little, my Jack Little unicorn here. Okay, so let's move on to the next day. I think we got the whole full moon thing down. So let's see, not really much happening until. Well, it'll help if I go to a day, not a minute. All right. So then we have on the 8th, we have the moon going into Scorpio. This is going to be a deeply emotional month. What's in that mug? It's tea. It's tea with lemon, my immune boosting tea. Yeah, unicorns, baby. Okay, so tomorrow we're going to have the moon in Scorpio. It's going to be opposing Uranus. So we're going to start getting doses of this Uranian energy. And this Uranian energy is always unpredictable. It's always the unknown. And with the moon being opposed to it, it means that everything in our experience, in our reality, we're going to have some unpredictable shit happening. Okay. We're probably going to have an unpredictably emotional response to something. That means some new news could come out that hits us from the sidelines. Like, what the hell just happened? It could affect us, in this whole quarantine thing. We don't know that for sure, but anything's possible right now. And the nodes go down to 1 degree of Capricorn and Cancer. So it's almost there. The lesson, the destiny of really learning the full breadth. I think that's the word I'm looking for solidifying this new emotional boundary stuff. So learning this last bit of emotional boundary stuff is key and important, because once the North Node goes into Gemini, then that lesson is going to be done. That means that we've learned everything that we can learn from that. And we're either going to be in our power and we're going to have solid emotional boundaries and a new structure emotionally, or we're not. And we're just going to be solidified in that state, so to speak. Now, it's never absolute, but that's the general feel for what's going on. Right. So, but the moon is also going to be sextile the South Node and trine the North Node. So this is feeling hope, getting a little bit of hope and feeling and seeing that things are moving forward. Okay. Now, this North Node is still going to be quincunx to Saturn. So that feeling is going to be going on throughout the week. And we have Black Moon Lilith in retrograde moving towards Chiron again. So the Black Moon Lilith is a very subtle energy. Okay. Being in Aries, it's very impulsive. It can, when we're feeling that loneliness, it can make us especially right now being trapped at home, it can make us want to jump on a dating app or something, we just want to be held. We just want to feel good, because it helps sort of smooth out the vulnerability. It smooths out the edges, but we have to make sure that we're doing it from a place of empowerment and a place of self-love. All right. If we're doing it in the process, we're feeling nah, this ain't right. Nah, I shouldn't be doing this. Nah, it's a bad idea. Don't do it. Okay. Just love yourself, please, DJ Diddles, or, just have fun with yourself. And it's okay to have fun with yourself. I'm definitely okay with that. Have to, right? Cleanse your crystals tonight, everyone. Yes. Put the crystals out underneath the full moon. And if you guys have never heard of the band Spectrum, SPECTRM, look them up on YouTube. It's pretty badass. He has a song called Eclipse that I absolutely love. It's like consciousness rap. And liquid bloom too. Liquid bloom if you want to just meditate or just chill out or, you know, just relax. That's the way to go with that one. Liquid bloom. Badass. Okay, April 9th. Now we have the moon that's going to be trine over to Neptune. So that could be a little bit of a spacey day. We have Mercury coming up to the last degrees of Pisces. So this is where it's going to get really cloudy emotionally, really confusing. But that's okay, you know, because we're going to just tune in and we're going to allow things to flow around us, flow through us, right? Because we know that Mercury is coming into Aries, so we're going to be okay, right? So let's see here. On the 10th, we have Mercury at 29 degrees, which is that, you know, 29 degrees of any sign is super intense, and we're getting like a whole, like that energy is dominant that day. Okay, so that day it could be like incredibly emotional, crying out of nowhere, don't know why. It's going to be a purgative day. All right, yeah, liquid bloom's the best. All right, so we have the moon in Sagittarius now, which is having us look at more of this expansive. Oh, we have a yod today. Okay, so let's go into that. So the yod learning lesson is at the North Node. So this is the apex of this energy, and it is the North Node quincunx to Saturn, Saturn sextile the moon quincunx to North Node. So this is literally getting to the very core of our emotional, any kind of emotional imbalance or emotional purging that needs to happen. That so on this day, that it's especially with Mercury at 29 degrees, trine over to the moon here, and the moon's going to be trine to to Chiron too. And Chiron and Black Moon Lilith are exactly conjunct at 6 degrees. This is so powerful. Oh my God! And then Venus is at 6 degrees, so we have 666 now. 666 and numerology is not the same as the mark of the beast. Okay, it represents structure. Okay, so yeah, good work. Wednesday tomorrow will be the Zoom for Uforia at 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. I'm gonna send out another email to you guys. What day is this? Today is Tuesday. I hear you. I've been having my days all jacked up too. So on the 10th of April. This day is going to be a very emotional day. This is where we have an opportunity, like one of the last opportunities while the nodes are in Cancer and Capricorn, to purge out all these emotions, to purge out all this crap that is no longer serving us, okay? Yeah, good work, Savannah. Oh yeah, good work. So follow what feels right, no matter how difficult it is. Okay, take action on what feels right, and it's going to bring you into a very emotionally uncomfortable place, but the universe is supporting moving into this energy so that it can be released. Okay, yes, time is an illusion. We can get into that debate all day long, but for the sake of astrology and the sake of being here, we're using it as a construct to understand what's going on, right? Oh yeah, the purge, the purge is going to keep getting stronger. You know, they sort of come in waves right now, but right now, especially, okay, with these energies, like we've already had these massive energies going on, and they're just layering on top of each other. It's like there's layers, they go away, they layer more, they go away, and it's just hitting it from different angles, but it's deeper and deeper, and it's just going to keep going deeper. So just be okay with the deep. All right. 2 yods in your chart. Oh man. All right. Well, you have a massively powerful gift, and you are going to definitely be changing humanity. All right. 4/10 is a good day to fast. Good. The 10th is Good Friday. I did not know that. Look at that shit. Wow. I mean, you can't make this shit up, right? I had no idea that was Good Friday. So this energy, like literally, I almost feel like this energy right now is mimicking, you know, the stories from the Bible when Jesus, you know, rose from the grave, the 3 days of darkness that everybody's been talking about. I don't think that the 3 days of darkness is actual like a blackout anymore. I think it has more to do with these children that are being saved. Hallelujah. Thank God these kids are being saved. But, you know, so on this day, the information may come out about all these children, you know, that are being saved, right? Oh, nice. Because I have 2 yods in my birth chart. So And I have dug way deep into that because that was a massive karmic lesson for me. And when I learned that, between that and my Chiron and my Black Moon Lilith is where I really discovered who I am. And because I use this to discover who I am, hey, it works, right? So yes, Good Friday would be a good day to fast, or a good day to just really tune into yourself. It's going to be incredibly emotional, incredibly purgative, and a huge opportunity, especially since that mass meditation on 4-4, right? That opened up this portal, that blasted open the Schuman's resonance to a higher frequency than I think we've ever seen in our lifetime. And with that raising up like that, that is blasting, that's having a ripple effect, okay? And it's working in conjunction with the astrological transits to open us up and really bring us into this new world that we're going into, right? You have a Lilith on your ascendant too. Yeah, you do. I think we talked about that. Okay, so Venus is also trine over to Mars into Saturn. So, you know, Venus trines Mars is a really positive sign. That's the divine masculine and the divine feminine talking. You know, they're trying, they're getting along. Okay, that's the two polarities that are saying, hey, look, we need to get along and figure some shit out so that we can purge this stuff. All right, and then with it being trine to Saturn, it's allowing us to really it's really allowing us to look at our fundamental structure emotionally and really seeing all that. Now, it may be some stuff that we don't want to see, but we're going to see it anyways. And if we see it, we have to accept it. Acceptance is key here. Okay. So what's going on? Well, I'm just talking about all the energies right now. I'm not going into individual signs. I'd be here for like 4 hours if I did that, but I can do a personal reading for you if you're interested in finding out what you got going on. All right. So then we have the 11th. So now we have actually, now we have on the 11th, Mercury in Aries, and Black Moon Lilith is retrograding towards Mercury. So now we're going to be in really clear communication, and the sun is at 22 degrees, which is a master number. Okay. And we have the moon today is going to go over the galactic center and head on into Capricorn. But with Mercury conjunct Lilith this day, this is where, like, so yesterday we just got done doing a bunch of purging, right? And we were able to really feel our emotions. Now we're gonna, after feeling those emotions, we're gonna feel opened up. We're gonna probably feel pretty good. And now we're gonna, you know, on a little sun, you know, like Mercury with Lilith is like, I'm feeling good. I want to feel better. All right. So let's get the feels going on. So, you know, just, you know, make sure that you're using the Lilith energy in a productive manner. If you guys want more information on Lilith, go check out my boy, the Peace Dealer. He made a whole series on Lilith through the signs and through the houses. Oh, thank you, Jeannie. I appreciate that very much. Very, very much. You're the best. I see. I have less than 2 minutes remaining on my live, but I'll probably just start it over once it's done because I still got some more to get in here. So on the 12th, we have the moon is going to be crossing over the south node. Now this is looking at like, I love you guys too very much. Thank you. You made me blush over here. Shit. So the moon is going to be crossing over the south node at 1 degree of Capricorn. So this is sort of like the last pass of saying, hey, this is the old structure. This is the new structure that we're moving into. It's time to say goodbye to the fucking past. This week is about clearing out the rest of the stuff, saying goodbye to yesterday, and next week starting hello to tomorrow, which is today. So we also have Mercury at 2 degrees now, passed over Black Moon Lilith, and coming up towards Chiron. So that's when, you know, again, another layer of vulnerability is going to be exposed. All right. This day we also have, we have the Uranus trine over to the south node and the moon today too. So which is giving us a little more of that Uranian energy to feed off of and to look at. All right. We will now not be affected by 5G anymore. So there's people saying that if we're in the 5D, that we're not going to be affected by 5G. I don't know how much I believe that, because this goes more into more than energetics. This goes into the physiology, breaking down organic cellular tissue. So I'm going to have to do a lot more research on that. All right, guys, real quick, I am going to end this live on here, and I'm going to restart it, okay? So jump right back on. Sorry, guys, hold on one second. I'll be right there. It's going to get this up and running again. Okay. So, Tanya said something interesting. Says some channelers talking about the current shift into a higher timeline dimension say that we will not be affected by 5G anymore. And that would be great. I would love if that was the case. However, even though we're vibrating at a higher vibration, we are still affected by the EMF and the vibration around us. And we do have, we have DNA, we all have organic tissue, and the 5G influences the organic tissue. Now, I will say that it is highly reactive to heavy metals in the body, particularly aluminum. And what's in large amounts in aluminum? Vaccines. Just saying. So the more, and I spent years cleaning my body out because when I went to Iraq, I got shot up with all kinds of shit, and I got heavy metal poisoning. That's what part of what drove me fucking crazy, right? So I had to spend years to detoxify myself. What is hey, what's up, yo? What is the 5G ordeal? So 5G is the next generation wireless connection that the powers that be are trying to put into power, right? It's, I believe, 10,000 times faster than 4G. But how's your night going, Haley? Thank you for joining. It's good to see you on here. So with 5G, like 4G is already pretty harmful, right? But do you have that super chat option we can financially contribute during your readings? Actually, no, not on YouTube yet. I'm waiting on the monetization thing. I'm not really sure when that's going to happen, but it'll happen soon, I think. Once most of shift, won't we all be like, fuck 5G? Well, yes, but even still, there's a lot of people ascending and there is a mass awakening going on, but we are still the minority, right? We are about the 5% right now. Maybe we're going to go up to the 20, 30%. Okay, but there's still 80-90% of the people out there that are addicted to suffering, that are addicted to the mainstream media, that are addicted to believing that all this shit is right for them, which is unfortunate. But we are the ones that need to get more people to see this shit, right? And understand the dangers. Like, we are the ones that most of us have been like, oh, thank you, Leslie. I appreciate that. We are the ones that have experienced a lot of like the autoimmune disease and all these issues from going through like getting screwed by or having bad experiences with like Western medicine or doctors or developing autoimmune diseases or emotional issues. And the way the Western medicine deals with it perpetuates the problem. It makes you feel like you need to be fixed because it's compartmentalized. When the shamanistic principle or more Eastern principles even believe in bringing all different levels of the mind, body, and soul together. And that's also functional medicine. That's also epigenetics. So we have this new science that proves all that shit false and all that shit wrong and obsolete, but they haven't caught up because it's all based in money. They're making so much money from that theory, that thought process. It all started with germ theory back in the 60s, which has been proven false over and over and over and over and over again. But the whole medical system, the whole field is based on that theory, which is a problem, right? So exactly, which is why alternative medicine is quickly becoming mainstream medicine, right? So we just have to be the ones to really stand up and stand in our power to be able to bring it to the world to teach everybody, because people need to know the mainstream media will not share this kind of information, and that's the problem, all right? So yeah, so supposedly, the 5G interacts with the Rona, the virus. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. I do know that it interacts with heavy metals, and the more heavy metal we have, the more that it'll just destroy our brain and destroy our body, right? Oh, you're a massage therapist? I used to be a massage therapist. Awesome. Yeah, massage works great. Absolutely. I also have done nutritional microscopy or live and dry blood cell analysis, looking under a microscope. That's how I discovered that I had a parasite infestation a few years ago, and I cleared it out with aromatherapy, believe it or not. Right? So we've all gone through these experiences individually to teach us something, and in the process of going through that, it has been very difficult, and it felt like life was going to end, or maybe we didn't know where we're going to go or how we're going to function. But we made it through somehow, right? Because we needed that chunk of information. And now we need to take this chunk of information and put it out there into the world. So every single one of you that's on here, every single one of you that's on YouTube and on Instagram, it's time for us to stand up, step up into our power, take responsibility for our life, and show the world what a utopia, what living from the heart is like. People won't listen to us talk. They will listen to us just being it. It's us standing in that vibration. It's the energy that speaks. And certain people, that's going to piss off their demons. So don't worry if we're pissing off their demons. Fuck them. And so with love, of course, but fuck them. You know, we don't need that shit. We are going to create the world that we want, and we are going to spread the love and spread the knowledge and spread the wisdom and create communities and build this new life and teach others how to do the same. All right? Bartering is going to back in a big way. And you can, you know, that, and I've been saying that since Uranus went into Taurus 2 years ago. Okay, because, and now look, everybody, there's millions of people out of job. So now most people are going to be bartering in some kind of way, because we still, many of us have skills, right? I will trade you this skill for that skill because nobody has any fucking money, right? And there's going to be a ripple effect, you know, throughout the years. And next year is when the real shit's going to hit the fan. That's when the real shit's going to really, like, it's sort of like from now until December, we are picking teams, right? Picture dodgeball, right? And the captains are love and fear. You know, Jesus and Satan, what, heaven or hell, good or bad, you know, however you want to label or look at it. Okay. And as we pick sides, we pick sides through the decisions and choices that we make. We pick a side in December, it's solidified. We are there. And at the end of December, beginning of February next year, dodgeball, boom. Spiritual warfare, guys. That's where we're at. Best way to introduce these ideas to people. There is no best way. The best way is your own authentic way. Like me doing this is my best way, right? This is how I do it. For you, that's where you have to dig down below, under, and get through all that fear and all that discomfort in your heart and bring all this energy out from your heart into the world. That is your best way, okay? See, that's why this stuff is difficult to teach. Because it's not like I can say, eat this, and you'll get, you know, X result. This is all individual. This is all about you going in your own, in your own trajectory within. Now, there are some structures, some scaffolding that you can follow to identify this process within yourself. And that's exactly what my coaching course is about. Okay, so check that out, spiritualbodybuilder.com. All right. And with that, when we go within, and yes, you can, if you can connect with the Akashic records, that's amazing. That's one superpower. All right. Personally, like I think I've connected to the Akashic records during an ayahuasca ceremony, but I'm not sure. But some people just connect, boom. Look at Phil Good. This dude is tapped in, turned on to all kinds of entities and like working with, you know, higher vibrational beings. I can't do that. I feel it in my heart, and I channel energy through astrology, but I feel it. I don't see it. I don't hear it. So I have my own unique way that I had to go through my period of feeling crazy in order to be able to stand up my confidence and my power to share this with you guys. But what I also do know is because everything that I've experienced and gone through, I've learned how to help other people find it within themselves. And that's what this is all about. So when you discover it in yourself, the journey to your own heart, through your own pain, through your own suffering, is how you discover what your superpower is for your purpose. And everybody here has a purpose. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. How do you strengthen telepathic gifts? By acceptance, by meditation, clearing your mind, being in the present moment. Literally, that's all it is. It always comes down to just having your head and your heart align and going with and trusting your gut intuition. All right. And they're going to continue to strengthen. Like the better you get at it, you're going to raise in a level like, whoa, what the fuck is this? And then it's going to be like, you know, you're going to have to learn a whole new level of it, and it gets confusing. But the more phases of that you go through, the more smooth it gets. Okay. So now we move to the 13th. Now we have Lilith now at 29 degrees of Pisces. Now Mercury is at 4 degrees of Aries. And Chiron is at 6 degrees of Aries. So that energy is starting to come together. We're going to, and this is square the nodes. So again, end of the week was that, I believe that's Monday. This is going to be another vulnerable day. It is what it is. Okay, I believe is that Easter on the 13th or the 12th. I have it only with my family. Thanks. What does that mean, Ellison? This is going to be another incredibly vulnerable day. Communicating with your own inner child, with your own vulnerability and feeling emotional could have some external, experience come in that's going to make you feel vulnerable, something unexpected. All right. And that's where you just have to, by this time, you listen to this, you're expecting the energy, just let shit go through you. All right. Don't try to figure shit out. Just let it be. Via Chiron. The Chiron energy is going to be potent on the 13th, 14th, 15th of next week. Okay. Now Venus is officially in shadow. So whatever's going on with Venus and Gemini in regards to relationships and your relationships and your relationship to money, because a lot of people are having weird relationship stuff with money right now. So this is going to come back when Venus retrogrades, and Venus only retrogrades every 2 years. So this is rare, and this is going to be intense. Livy, what's up, dude? My little niece is on here. How you doing, babe? Easter is 4/12. Okay, so on the 13th, so the day after Easter is going to be another super emotional day. I have a feeling, just gut intuition, we're going to get some kind of big news in the world somewhere between Black Friday and, I miss you too, Livy. Somewhere between, yeah, Julie, there we go. The 5 Ds of dodgeball. Dodge, duck, dip, dive, and dodge. No, dodge is in there twice. All right, Ellison. Namaste to you too, my friend. Thank you, Livy. It's I love you too so much. I miss you. My niece is all the way back in Massachusetts. It's really late over there. So I hope you have a good night. So yeah, somewhere between Good Friday and the 12th, we're going to get some big news that's going to make us feel vulnerable. That's going to make us like a little more uncertain to dig into this vulnerability. Anth, what's up, dude? Now my brother's on here. So this is, this vulnerability is not going to go away. And with the moon now in the second half of a Capricorn, on the 14th, it's going to be going over Pluto, Jupiter, Saturn. So that's going to just really solidify this like realistic, like, wow, this is another layer of realness. Okay. Yeah. Family love, baby. Absolutely. I love you guys so much. I miss you. Yeah. The fam's representing. Okay. I'm a masshole. Hell yeah, I am. Born and raised, baby. Okay. So that's all I got for you guys for your weekly energy report. And thank you guys so much for tuning in. And if you haven't yet, please follow me on Instagram and click the link in my bio or the link in the description box below on this YouTube video to download my ebook and get on my mailing list. Check out my website, spiritualbodybuilder.com. It should be up with very, very soon, but you can check it out and, get a feel for what I'm doing. I'd love for all you guys to be a part of my opportunity community. Come by, check it out. Let's build this new world, this new life together. I thank you so much. I send you all my best. I love you all. You fucking rock. I'll see you guys soon, okay? All right. YouTube, peace out, guys. Thank you. Grateful for you guys, man, so much.